Alright, what up y'all, Sway Breezy here, and I'm back with another video. I have been waiting literally years to make this video. Ever since I bought my 2021 WRX STI, I have been waiting for a time where it felt right to make this video. And I've had the car since December of 2021. I bought it brand new off the lot, had 6 miles on it, and I just wanted to talk about my experience with buying a brand new car at such a young age. I was 17 when I bought the car, and kind of the difficulties that can come with making a decision that big at that young of an age, and why I think you guys should, for the most part, avoid buying a brand new car unless you have a very specific situation that is most likely similar to mine. So just to take you guys through my story, I bought a 2021 WRX STI. It was about $40,000, and I bought it December of 2021, which was basically still in the craze of the COVID car crisis, where nobody was buying cars because we were all at home and terrified over a fucking common cold. Sue me, I don't give a fuck. And due to the time that I bought the vehicle, I was able to get a 1% APR on the car, which, if you guys know the car market, that is fucking phenomenal. Like, it'll never happen ever again. It would have to take a crisis like COVID to get an APR like that. So I had that already leaning in my favor, and that's why I wanted to talk about interest rates. If you are going to buy a brand new car that is already going to lose 30% of its value, 20 to 30% based on how much of an enthusiast vehicle it is. My car probably only lost about 15 to 20% its first year. But if you are going to be buying a brand new car that's going to lose a quarter of its value in the first 365 days alone, I think it's important to be reminded of the fact that if you have a 10% interest rate or even a 7% interest rate, you are going to be paying significantly more for that car than the sticker price or the MSRP or whatever is on the dotted line. You are going to be paying significantly more than that. Now, I personally had some help with my father. He was a co-signer. He helped me with the down payment, and he's helped me throughout the journey with my car. It was $40,000 in interest. I probably paid about $4,000 over the last 3.5 years, but I did not pay the whole entire amount. So I did not pay, let's just say I got the car outright now that it's basically paid off. Let's just say I put $45,000 into it. Not all of that was for me. I had some help from my father because it's kind of insane for a 17-year-old to be doing that stupid shit. I think my dad knew how stupid I was and knew I needed a little bit of help. But it is important to know that with buying a brand new car, you are going to be spending more than what the sticker price is for something that is going to depreciate the millisecond you drive it off the lot. Like, I got my car for 40 grand, and if I drove it around town and brought it back to the dealership, they would have gave me 35 grand for it. Literally driving it 10 miles. It already depreciated 10 grand, you know, which is insane. But it's important to keep that in mind when you're buying a car. You're paying interest on a depreciating asset. You know, it's not something that's going to appreciate. It's not something that is going to become more valuable. Now, you might have an enthusiast vehicle. Maybe it's a Porsche or even my car, you know, the WRXs, which I guess the STI variant is more of the enthusiast car, not really the WRX. And even that, it's still a depreciating asset. Even if your car depreciates slowly, maybe like a Prius, something that holds its value for the most part, it is no matter what going to be a depreciating asset, and you're going to lose money on that. And you are paying interest on something that is losing value every second you drive it, you know? And another thing I wanted to talk about, sorry that we were stuck on interest rates for so long. I just think it's important for you guys to know that. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, and this specifically affected my life absolute most. Luckily I'm in a very fortunate position where I was very confident buying this car. I was very confident that I would have the $600 every single month for this car payment. I was very confident that no matter how I lived my life, I was going to be able to pay off this car. But the only thing that sucked with that is that once you have this payment, very similar to a mortgage or moving out of your parents' house for the very first time, this is a very similar thing, that your flexibility is now hurt by however much that car payment is. So let's say you have a $500 car payment, just for easy math, and if you're making $2,500 a month, if you're not making 4 times whatever your car payment is, you need to go sell that car immediately anyway. So if you're watching this video and you're trying to sign up for a $500 car payment, you make $1,500 a month, you're a fucking moron, and you need to get that delusional thought out of your head, because it's not going to happen. You're going to drown yourself financially. But it really hurts your flexibility. You know, that $500 a month could be going towards saving for a property, or saving for college, or investing, or an experience that could build your future. You know, saving up for a trip with your friends, investing in the S&P 500 or index funds or something like that, or a Roth IRA, or just a straight up savings account for peace of mind. You know, I've definitely hurt myself for the last 3.5 years on building my finances a little bit better, you know, where I could have just stayed in a $3,000 Honda Civic to go A to B to work and been just fine. You know, I guess the flash and the clout factor of like having a really badass car and the ego that comes with it, I guess that's all cool. You know, it's all fine and dandy. I love my car. Like I said, I have no regrets with buying my car. I've learned so much to help not only myself, but my future self, my future partner, my future kids, on the importance of knowing what you're signing up for, getting an expensive car note like that. But I think it's very important, if you're somebody that knows that you don't want to be hunkered down to one spot for, you know, a 5-year period of time, and you're trying to keep your finances very low to maybe start a business or have flexibility to go on trips or go to college or something like that, it's important to keep in mind that once you sign up for this car note, you are hunkered down to that. And the longer longer you hang on, the more the car will depreciate and it'll be less worth it to stay with the car. So, and maintenance isn't free. You know, if you want oil changes, tires, repairs, all that shit is eventually going to happen. And people forget about those costs. You're not just paying $500 a month if you're getting $300 worth of gas a month, and then your insurance is $200 a month. Now that is a $1,000 a month car. You know what I'm saying? And luckily I have two vehicles to where I don't have to commute to work with my WRX STI. But if I did, not only would that brand new car depreciate so fucking fast, it would probably already have 70,000 miles by now, 75,000 miles. Luckily I'm at like 15,000. But you have to keep in mind that you're not just paying a car payment. You are also paying for insurance, gas. A $500 a month car payment could easily turn into the car costing you $1,000 a month. And when you're making $2,000 a month, 50% of your income should be going towards housing, not a vehicle. If there's one or the other, get the apartment, fuck the car. You can have it later. You know, stop trying to live above your means. It's very important when you're signing up for a car, because it's something that I didn't realize was going to bite me so much in the butt. You know, there's many times where I was like, man, that $600 could have went towards some cool shit this month, you know, that I had to miss out on. And, you know, it's important to develop delayed gratification. You know, I kind of suffer from not being very good with delayed gratification because I gave myself one of my dream cars at 17 years old. Like I said, I was in a fortunate position to where the car didn't really own me, but I definitely have friends who have $800 car payments right now, or that car owns them. You know, they're making like $2,000 a month and they have to work relentlessly, overtime and all that shit to keep up with the car. So the car owns them. You never want your car to own you. You know, you want to own the car, and there's nothing wrong with waiting, you know, and delaying that gratification, because it'll feel like a bigger reward to yourself. And I want you guys to ask yourselves a couple things before you buy this car. You know, are you buying this car because you love the vehicle and you love the mechanics of it and you're just obsessed and it's a passion? You know, when I bought my car, I was in love with that car. I loved everything about the WRX STI. I loved the rally history behind it. And overall, I just felt like that car was like speaking to me, you know, which was it's still not a reason to sign up for a brand new car. I still think no matter what, it's smart to wait. But, you know, if you're feeling like the pressure because everyone around you is getting Scat Packs and brand new Honda Accords and everybody's in the 2025s with the Apple CarPlay, and you're feeling this pressure to like keep up with society and impress people that don't even give a fuck about you, that is the number one sign that you do not need to get this new car. If all you care about is the flash of having a brand new car, do not fucking buy that car. Please don't buy that car. And, you know, the car debt could trap you into just working a job that you really don't want because you can't take the risk because you have this big ass car payment. You know, you feel like you can't start something new. It's very similar to signing up for a mortgage or moving out of your parents' house for the first time. It's very similar. If you've watched videos on that, I'm sure I'm saying a lot of the similar things, but it's because they're very true. And I know from experience, I dumped $40,000 into this car, some decent maintenance money. Trust me, I crashed my car, which was not fun, and I can make a whole other video on that, but that's, you know, that's for another time. If you're 17, I wouldn't recommend getting the 500 horsepower muscle car. I don't know if you're ready for that amount of power. My dumb ass crashed my car, and I am like renowned as like the greatest driver that all of my friends have ever met, and I still crashed my fast sports car. So be careful with shit like that too. And it's important to know that a lot of people that are in debt, it started with something small that snowballed. Like it started with a car note, or it started with the first credit card. You know, it started with that first jump. So if you're somebody that is clean with debt and you have the option to either keep saving up this big lump sum of money for the car that you really want, or to get into the loan now, just keep saving. Just keep saving your money. Much harder to say no to more debt after you get that first loan, because now you have this big car payment and your checking account has no money. So now you have to use your credit card, you know, and now you're in credit card debt because the $500 that could have went to feeding you this month went to your car, you know, so now you're in a perpetual route of debt. And it's better to just avoid that in the first place, because whether you're 18 years old or 22, you're still going to be able to get the car, and it's going to feel the same when you get it. Except when you're 22, you'll be a little more financially responsible and ready for the car, you know? So you might as well just wait. And keep in mind, this is coming from the guy who bought the $40,000 car brand new, when I could have got a 2019 for $30,000, 15,000 miles, and I would have paid the car off a year ago. Literally like a year ago, the car would have been paid off, you know? And I would have had just about the identical experience. I would have 30,000 miles right now instead of 15,000. In the grand scheme of things, is that really going to make a difference? You know, when I could have saved $10,000 that could have gone to literally anything else. I'm sorry if this is a reality check for some of you, but I'd rather you hear it from me, some guy that's like really down to earth and chill, than to get fucking yelled at from your parents when you're asking for money a couple years down the line. Buy a reliable used car and save to buy in cash later on. No payments, no stress, or at least a big down payment. Like if it's a $30,000 car or a $40,000 car, put 25 grand down, put 20 grand down. I understand, you know, your old car's breaking down. You might really just want some newer shit. Just get that big down payment ready. You know, it's the same thing as a house. The bigger the down payment, the less stress you'll have in the years to come. And I just mentioned it earlier, but one thing that is extremely underrated is, instead of buying the 2025 this year, buy the 2023 or the 2022. That's literally 30% off. Unless your car's generation had a very recent facelift, it's the same exact fucking car with the same exact features, and you're getting it for like $10,000 less with like 20,000 miles, 10,000 miles. Sometimes you can get a car for 5 to 7 grand off with 5,000 miles. You know what I'm saying? And you need to take that. You need to jump on that, because that $7,000 would be a whole year of payments that you're now saving. Imagine buying a $40,000 car, and in 3 years, it's worth 20,000 and you owe 30,000. That's not wealth building. That's stupid debt that you need to avoid. I just want to leave you guys with a couple of things here. It feels good to drive the nice car, but that feeling wears off. You know, it's only a new car for a little bit. And I know this doesn't apply to people that are absolutely in love with their vehicle and like it's been their lifelong dream or lifelong passion to own that car. But even me, the feeling kind of wears off. The validation of having the badass car and getting all the compliments, that kind of fades. You know, it just naturally fades. But the payments do not. You are going to keep paying that fucking car. The less and less cooler it feels to be in that car, you're going to have the same fucking pay. Debt keeps you in a survival mode when you should be in freedom. You know, you're young. We need flexibility to make big decisions in life. I haven't been able to make big decisions because in the back of my head, I need that $600 every fucking month on the side, you know, for this car. And that's important. You guys have to remember that. I know it sucks. You need to focus on your future instead of now. It's also very important to remember that there will be the time when you do get the car. You know, like it might be 5 years from now, it might be 10 years from now, it might be 20 years from now, but there will be a time. You know, all your buddies with the badass cars, the car looks great on Instagram, but they don't put the debt as the caption. $1,000 a month, $300 insurance. They don't say that. You know, that's what everybody's leaving at. So yeah, I wanted to make this video. I know it's a little different than like the mental health shit, but I know we also talk about finances a lot on this channel, and this was one of my more finance driven videos. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you have an experience with buying a brand new car, maybe a nightmare, or maybe it working out well for you, please let me know down in the comments down below. People will be reading the comments. People like to read comments while they watch videos. So if you have any more advice for the young people or an experience of your own, please just put that down in the comment section down below. I read them as well, and I like reading all your guys' comments. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this video. Wait for that brand new car, and I will see you guys when I see you guys later.